Hello class. Now we'll see the fourth component, that is fourth additional component of our uh, KE Jetronic system, that is primary pressure regulator. Okay, so the primary pressure regulator is located, just see here, the from the fuel tank, the fuel is pumped by fuel pump and it's sent it to the accumulator. After the accumulator, it passes through fuel filter, and this line are straight directed towards the uh, toward the this electrohydraulic pressure regulator, and after that it guided to the lower chamber of your what we can say pressure differential valve. Okay, so there are the branching which is going which is the line which is coming from the fuel filter and the fuel pump. Okay, the first branching is here. Okay, and the second branching is here. The second branching is directed to the starter valve, and the first branching is directed to the primary pressure regulator. So the what primary pressure regulator does, even though if you notice the second line which is from the pressure lower chamber of the pressure differential valve, okay, is coming downward, and it is also guided into the primary pressure valve only. Okay, so this is a primary pressure valve which helps to hold the line pressure. Okay, which helps to hold the line pressure till or we can say, as I told you, whenever short span of stop and run condition is there, means for a second if driver stops its vehicle, okay, and within a few seconds or within a few minutes, if you want to go further or if you want to continue further traveling, in that sense the pressure generation in the line takes a time. So in order to start your vehicle quickly after the short halt by driver, the primary pressure regulator plays very important role. Okay, so what primary pressure regulator does, it just prevent the backflow from the line above present of fuel pump or fuel filter. It maintains just pressure into the further line. Okay, this is the main rule of our this primary pressure regulator, and it operates with respect to the inlet vacuum present over here. So first of all, we see the construction. Okay, so this is the magnified image of your primary pressure regulator, it having the two ends. Okay, so the first end, that is downward end, which is directed to the fuel tank. Here we can see is a bottom end, through that bottom end the one pipe is there which is directed to the fuel tank, and upper end is also there. This end is directed to the inlet manifold of your vehicle. Okay, inlet manifold of your engine. So this side it sends the vacuum. Okay, this pipe is located inside the inlet manifold, which helps to sense the vacuum or engine load condition, as it is located at downstream position. After the throttle, this pipe is supposed to sense the vacuum which is directly present into the combustion chamber. As respect to the throttle position is opening, the vacuum present over downstream region is goes on decreasing. So that vacuum gets sensed by this pipe and into convert to this upper chamber of your primary pressure valve. Okay, there is a diaphragm is present over, you can see there is a diaphragm is present. Okay, so above this diaphragm, vacuum is sensed or conveyed by this line. Okay, here one spring is there. This is a somewhat stiff control spring, is somewhat having a stiffness as compared to the bottom spring, because at bottom also one spring is present over here. This is somewhat soft spring or having less stiffness, and this spring having somewhat more stiffness. Okay, so this diaphragm is get loaded by this stiff spring. After that come here, this is the body of your diaphragm. Okay, this is the body. In the body there is a central pressure control valve is present. Okay, central pressure control valve, this is central pressure control valve rest on the spring. Okay, it having a collar, this is a collar, and this is another collar of your pressure regulator valve. This is, okay, this one is another collar of pressure regulator valve, and this is a one more collar of pressure regulator valve. So the use of collar is this pressure regulator valve having upward and downward motion in between these two spring, this heavy spring and the light spring, and this collar helps to prevent further upward movement of this pressure regulator valve, and this bottom collar is responsible to restrict downward movement of your pressure regulator valve. And if one thing you have to notice here, that is pressure regulator valve having internal drill passage. Okay, so T that downward T, upside down T is upside down shape T is drill in this pressure regulator valve. Okay, so what will happen whenever engine is running, that time inlet manifold is generating the vacuum, or the whatever the vacuum generated by the piston cylinder arrangement are induced into the inlet vacuum, that gets sensed by the diaphragm. Okay, or that get conveyed by this line to the diaphragm. Okay, here, so as vacuum is introduced over here, this diaphragm start to move in upward direction. Okay, it start to move because at that same time fuel pump started. As engine is started, that time fuel pump is also started. It starts sending the fuel into this line, and through these branches is entering to the primary pressure regulator also, and that time inlet manifold also having the vacuum. So vacuum pressure is here, and the fuel pump hydraulic pressure is below the diaphragm. So that's why this tip spring start to move in upward direction. Whenever it start moving upward direction, that time what will happen, this portion of your primary regulator, okay, this primary regulator, okay, primary sorry, not primary, pressure control valve, this portion of pressure control valve is supposed to generate that much gap as shown in figure. Okay, previously it was not there, that gap was not there. This edge of pressure control valve directly touches to this diaphragm body, so no path is available over here. So as engine get turned on, hydraulic pressure is introduced is in the chamber, and vacuum is here, so that why diaphragm get pushed upward. Okay, and as diaphragm get pushed upward, this lighter spring also move upward, because with respect to diaphragm, this body of control valve supposed to move in upward direction, and whenever this collar get get in contact with this portion, okay, it stop here, but diaphragm go further in upward direction. Okay, so in that way, whatever the fuel coming from fuel pump is start to flow through this way and entering to this drill hole. Here again this gap is there in between the collar and the seat of body, and the fuel get travel further this line into the fuel tank. In addition to that, whatever the surplus charges are coming from the lower chamber of the pressure differential valve is also directed downward, okay, in this way, and entering to the primary pressure regulator through this way, that is excess flow from the lower chamber and the flow from the fuel pump. So both are coming here, flow from the fuel pump coming here and entering to here, and through this way it entering to the fuel tank, and the flow, excess flow from the lower chamber also coming here. And as there is a this collar is not rest on this position, so through this gap it also entering here and try to go to the fuel tank. Whenever engine stops, vacuum is completely vanished from the inlet manifold. This spring having force to downward direction in order to or in order to send that diaphragm to its initial position. So this pushing this diaphragm in downward direction, whenever diaphragm is get pushed in downward direction, this edge of your pressure control valve having contact with this diaphragm body and it pushing downward. So whenever it pushing downward, this edge of or the collar of this collar of your control pressure control valve moving downward, and this collar get contact with this sitting position. So there is no any flow from the lower chamber which is coming downward or having path to enter to the fuel tank. Okay, because this gap get completely vanish once vacuum is over. This entire body get pushed downward direction, so this gap is not there. So whatever the fuel coming from, excess fuel coming from the lower chamber this way, okay, will not forwarded to the fuel tank, as this gap is vanished due to the vacuum present in the inlet manifold is destroyed. So this, whatever the pressure in the line till here is maintained up to 3 to 4 bar till engine will not start for after some time, okay, or till engine will not start further. So all the pressure above this line towards till the pressure regulator is maintained up to 2 to 3 bar. Okay, even though the fuel from the pump is stuck over here, it won't go back, as this pump having the one way valve, and even though the accumulator having this baffle which restrict the return flow. So all the flow coming from the fuel pump also gets stuck in the accumulator, as there is a baffle plate. Okay, so this thing is there in order to maintain the pressure into the line, in order to reduce the chance of late starting of vehicle, or as whenever vehicle is started, that time where there is a time taken by fuel injection system in order to maintain, or in order to raise the pressure in the line up to the injection pressure. So it takes a time, which results your vehicle start late in case of the key Jetronic system. Okay, so in case of the modern injection system, nowadays whatever we are using, in those injection system, electronic fuel pump is used. Here also the pump is electronic, no doubt, but in that system, in new modern system, they try to use a such intelligence in which whenever driver comes near to the vehicle and start press its remote key button in order to open the door, that time ECU directly starts the fuel pump uh, in order to bring the pressure in the line up to the fuel injection level. Means without waiting for cranking, or driver supposed to crank, or driver without waiting to insert the key by driver into the key drum, ECU starts the fuel pump without permission of the driver, in order to maintain the pressure, or in order to bring the pressure in the fuel line up to its injection level, that is 2 to 3 bar. So that much intelligence is used in case of our modern fuel injection system. But here in KE Jetronic, that much intelligence is not used. So in order to prevent the pressure, or in order to hold the pressure in the line up to its injection level, or injection level magnitude, that is 2 to 3 bar, we are supposed to stop our backflow of our fuel into the fuel tank. So that is done by our this primary pressure regulator. So this thing is good, but this thing even bad in some cases, because we have stopping the backflow. Okay, and we know vehicle is won't cool suddenly. Once we have stopped the engine, it start radiating the heat, and it start radiating the heat to its sub devices present in the engine compartment. So whenever we are stopping, or we are stopped, or we are restrict the backflow of this fuel present in the line, that may further leads the vapor formation into this line. And whenever vapor formation is there, we know vapor formation is there, that time what will happen, pressure drop is occur, because of vapor of the fuel supposed to compress. It is a gaseous state, it's supposed to compress and drop the pressure in the line. This is another disadvantage of key Jetronic. So the restriction to the flow after shutting the vehicle is again leads the problem of vapor lock. Because if you allow to drive a vehicle within a second, 10 second, or within a minute, we can say with the 2 or 3 minutes, it is okay. But if you wait for the 15 minutes or 10 minutes or more than that, all the restricted flow present in this line supposed to vaporize, and responsible to pull back responsible to pull back the pressure in the line below the magnitude of 2 to 3 bar. So it will takes again times to start the vehicle. So this is thing may happen presence of this pressure restricted flow device. So that's why the further development is take place in case of the MPFI system, that is L Jetronics and LH Jetronics and Mototronics and all. Okay, so this is the thing. Till here we have studied the 4 parts of your KE Jetronic system. Okay, so there are a few things which we have added here, that is this throttle position sensor, that is the potentiometer. I told you throttle position sensor and the potentiometer sensor are cross checking to each other. As I told you, whenever throttle position sensor is operated by whenever throttle is operated by the driver, okay, so the throttle position sensor also rotate, because throttle position sensor and the throttle ped is located at the same shaft. So whenever driver is supposed to operate this throttle plate by 90%, so TPS also supposed to have a rotation of 90%. In that respect only the sensor plate supposed to have a movement, that is 90% opening. But whether it opening 90% or not, that is monitored by this potentiometer, okay, present at the hinge point of air sensor plate. So on that basis it decides the density, whether air is heavily dense or whether air is less dense. On that basis the intelligence is developed by ECU, or on that basis ECU decide whether we are entering into the dense region of air, or somewhat less dense region of air, okay. So on that basis fuel can be meter that, and that decision was taken by our ECU. On that basis it control the current flowing through this electromagnet of our electro-hydraulic pressure actuator, okay. Another thing, here is a starter valve is used. This starter valve and this air auxiliary air device are work together. Whenever starter was injecting the fuel during the cold starting problem, as I told you here, thermo time switch, since thermo time sensor is present, which is same as the KJ-Tronics, this send the signal to this starter valve, as well as send the signals to this air auxiliary air device, in order to overcome the cold starting problem. During the cold starting we supposed to have the rich mixture to combustion chamber. In that, during that time, in addition to this service injector, this cold starter injector also sending the fuel. So amount of fuel is become a too rich. So in order to have air also, we have the auxiliary air device over here. So in addition to huge quantity of fuel, we supposed to add somewhat more quantity of air also. So along with the fuel we supposed to have extra air through this auxiliary air device for the time being, okay. Once that's why it's called the thermo time switch. We have already seen the working of thermo time switch, okay. So for the time being it work, it's depend on 2 minutes, 1 minute, okay. Once engine start, it stop working, it stop sending the signal to this starter wall and the auxiliary device, okay. After the air, this is a temperature sensor. Temperature sensors sends signals to this electronic control unit in order to regulate the current flowing or in order to what we can say, regulate the amount of current sending to this electromagnet. As we are facing the cold starting problem, that time we have to allow a rich mixture, okay, into the combustion chamber. That time this temperature sensor give the signal to ECU. In that way ECU decided the magnitude of current need to be a supply to this electromagnet. In that fashion service injector also regulate its of fuel in order to overcome the cold starting problem, okay. After that ignition control system is also there. Is actually it's a different part here. In case of the KG-Tronics only, it is independent system over here, okay. In case of the Mototronics, that is KE Mototronic system, ignition system and the fuel injection system are work together. Here we are only supposed to go through that KE Jetronics. KE Jetronics is different, KE Mototronics is different, okay. So in our syllabus KE Jetronics also only there, okay. So the KE Jetronics means this injection system and ignition system are independent, and whenever we are saying KE Mototronics, okay, that time injection and the ignition system work together, or